Today we'll be discussing Pokémon Scarlet and Violet for anyone that needs a solid verdict on whether or not to buy it for Christmas. Welcome to the Switch Clicks Podcast, episode 115, recorded on December 20th, 2022. My name is Dakota, and today I'm joined by Tyler.
Hello!
We are talking about Pokémon Scarlet and Violet about 2 months after it came out? A month?
Yeah,
a month after it came out.
So. We decided, it's probably a good idea to wait till everyone doesn't stop talking about it anymore. Then we can. That seems like a recipe for success, I think.
It also gives both of us time to actually play the game and not just play through the first maybe
Rushing
10
through
hours.
Games is very rough. Makes them a lot worse. I can say that with confidence.
And
for unless you're Jagjeet and you finish it.
For reference, how many hours have you played? Do you know?
I think it's high 30s.
Okay, so your friends list says 40 hours.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds right.
And I have 75.
75. Cool.
Mind you, I am trying to complete the Pokédex, so that's probably most of it.
I did initially try that and then gave up like every Pokemon game. I love Pokemon. I cannot complete the Pokédex. I don't know why. I think I'm just like a battling kind of guy. I just like battling Pokemon and making teams, but I do not care about catching Pokemon.
I'm like the complete opposite. I don't like the battling. Just let me push A.
Fair enough.
I still play like does more damage. Easy.
Oh,
put that in my Pokemon.
Need to get through the story.
Yeah.
To be fair, my favorite kind of Pokemon, I think my favorite Pokemon game to play are like ROM hacks where it makes the game like you have to think about it. Because my favorite thing in Pokemon is to fight a hard battle and actually that forces you to think about your choices. I think that's so cool, but also mashing it can be very fun.
Yeah. To compare, in this game, how was the difficulty?
It was actually surprisingly nice, I think, but that also might have been because I didn't know the order I was supposed to go in. Because, like, I really liked early game, where there was some fights that were really easy, and then, like, the fire-type evil team member was surprisingly difficult, and I was like, oh, shoot, I'm not going to just breeze through this game. And then you get to the end where you realize you missed a couple gym leaders, and they're, like, level 20.
It's kind of hard to say. I went a really weird route. Like, I think my first one was the bug type, which is most people's first, either that or the grass. Yeah. And then I traveled up to the normal type gym leader, and then I did water.
Okay.
And then I went back around to the east side and finished all the way up there. But I did a really weird order.
What I did is I wanted to complete everything that we'd already seen in the trailers first. So I went through and I beat the grass, the fire, and the big cloth. And then I went to beat up the electric type gym leader. And then I just started going around in a circle around the whole world.
Yeah. At a certain point, I was just mowing down. Like,
yeah,
I got maybe over leveled, but I think I hung out in some areas for a while because I wanted to catch every single thing to maximize my time with catching the Pokédex. But if you don't, I'm assuming because you didn't want to complete the Pokédex, you didn't really do that?
I did. I would go around catching as many things as I could as well. But I don't know. I don't know why I was... Oh, actually, I think I do know why. Because I was very strict. Like, I would swap out my team a lot because I wanted to... Like, I didn't know any of the Pokemon. So I'd be like, okay, this guy's cool. Then he evolved. I'm like, well, that kind of sucked. So I grabbed a new Pokemon instead. So I didn't really have a Pokemon collecting a bunch of levels. Because I got rid of my starter as soon as he got to his final evolution. I just swapped him out for a different Pokemon. So none of my Pokemon really got the chance to become over-leveled.
Yeah, I do it in a different way. I start with my starter, and then I usually catch probably at least 2 Pokemon before like the second gym. And then 3, 4, 5, and 6 probably come like, one after the other each gym. But I think I got a Curlia? What's the one before Curlia?
Ralts.
I got a Ralts, planning on to be a Glade because I saw that there was some kind of robot Gallade thing, and I thought it was going to be a new evolution.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's what I was planning on, but then I ended up accidentally leveling it up to a Gardevoir, which is fine.
Gardevoir's still cool.
Yeah. What else? And then I ran into the little green fire type, the pepper.
Yeah, Scoville into Scovillain.
I thought so. I didn't know his second evolution because I didn't look at the leaks either.
Yeah.
I thought the little guy was pretty cool, and I'm like, okay, he's a grass fire type. What a sick combination!
I thought he was going to be a Kappa.
Yeah,
but he ended up like. If I'm being honest, I really like his evolution, but it was a little disappointing.
Yeah, I keep thinking about Piranha Plant, like a two-headed Piranha Plant.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think I agree that he looks like he needs a third evolution, but also I don't know. I like 2-stage Pokemon more than 3. But I think I'm just weird.
The other one that I added to my team that I just thought was just a sick design was Bramblegast, I think is the name.
Yeah, I don't know. I was very disappointed by his when he evolved. I loved the first little guy. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, he's going to evolve into a full, like, cowboy. And then he just kind of got bigger. So I think I set myself up for disappointment a little bit.
Yeah, I think you did. For me, I thought the base design was perfect as a base design. And then the evolution is just more of the good stuff.
I just really... He's just a ground type... Or wait, no, a grass type Electrode.
Yeah, essentially.
They're just fast little balls.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Who else did I put on my team? I don't even remember now.
Oh, and the first evolution has eyes but no mouth, and then the second evolution gets a mouth.
Using the branches, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is super cool, I think.
The
shiny has a lot to be desired, but whatever.
I do not remember how the shiny looks at all. I've blocked most of them out of my mind.
That's true. I mean, they're all the same usually.
Fair enough.
My favorite Pokemon from this generation, I put on my team instantly. Was it called Nimble? Little grasshopper thing? Dude, what a sick design for a tiny Pokemon.
Fair enough.
And then he got so much better. He became a Power Ranger.
Yeah. Shoot, there was another one for me that was like instant yes please, but I'm forgetting what it is as we speak. Mastiff. Mastiff into Mabostiff.
I like the name play.
I love them so much. The first one just looks a little bit like, yeah, boss, we got the little dude. And then they evolve into the mob boss. Oh, I think that's so cool.
When I first saw the first evolution in the wild, I'm like, that is the ugliest Pokemon I've ever seen.
I love him. I love ugly Pokemon.
And then I realized the connection with the name. Like, I knew that now I know it evolves into Mabostiff, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like little minion guys versus the big boss of the... Yeah.
I feel like if I was in the Pokemon world, I'd probably be part of Team Rocket because I love the mob Pokemon. Like Murkrow, Honchkrow, Mischief, or Mob... Mobstiff? Wait, is that his name? I just said it. Oh well, into Mabostiff. I can't think of anything else. Oh yeah, like the Meowth types. Big fan of those. All those little mischievous guys.
The last guy I put on my team that I made a mistake with is Donphan, because I thought he had another evolution as well.
Yeah, I was kind of under the same impression. I didn't catch one. I don't think I had that problem. I don't think so. But I don't know. This generation, I don't know what struck me, but I just really wanted to catch some old Pokemon too. So I had Dragonite and Copperajah on my team, which are just two very strange Pokemon to also slap on. But I feel like we've talked about Pokemon for maybe a little too long.
Yeah, Pokemon designs. Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Pokemon. The game Pokemon.
Yeah, the full game.
Yes.
Stop talking about Pokemon, start talking about Pokemon, you know?
I don't know where to start.
Do you like the game? I think it's a very simple starting point.
I think I do. I do in my like top 3.
I I do not know where I'm sitting at like the top. Like what? It's really good, but I think I need to wait for it to simmer a little bit before I am able to actually
Yeah,
rank it. But it is good, which is very frustrating because all the press for it is just glitches.
yeah. And honestly, the trend of glitches kind of died off after maybe the first 2 weeks it was released, and then everybody just said, "Oh, wait a minute, this is kind of a good game."
Yeah, like anyone who bought it, I'm pretty sure had a good time. But it just feels like most people just didn't buy it because the first week was just showing off all the glitches the game had.
Yeah,
So that's what
and
people think of it now. It's just like it's the glitchy one.
to be fair, I don't think the mass majority of people find those bugs.
Yeah, I don't my game didn't run smoothly, but it ran smoothly, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Solid middle ground.
Yeah. The frame rate really like okay, the game definitely needs to be buffed out a little bit, but
Yeah,
other
the
than that,
frame
like
rate is
the
atrocious.
gameplay is good.
Yeah,
I think I think all you need to do is add the catching feature from Legends Arceus and you're set. You now have the perfect Pokemon formula.
yes. And then all they have to do, if you have the perfect Pokemon formula, just do it again, new areas, just keep doing that.
Yeah, keep doing it, and like even if just slowly over time you make the Pokemon feel a little more real, because they still kind of got like they just walk around kind of thing going on. There's not
They
they don't
did it. They did it slightly better in this
do it
one. I
slightly
think
better. Yeah.
slightly, very slightly.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a few of the smaller Pokemon. They go and sit down and then eat a berry,
Yeah, or like
or
sleep
like,
underneath trees.
yep.
Yeah, they do
They
stuff. It's
yeah.
not like Sword and Shield where they just walk aimlessly.
Hmm.
And like you can interact with wild Pokemon, like they won't all attack you, but they've kind of had that for most games.
Yeah, I noticed that they didn't really attack you in this game like they do in Legends Arceus, but I think Legends Arceus was supposed to be like the Great Wild or the Outer Wild,
Yeah,
so that's probably why.
fair enough.
And upgrading from Legends Arceus, I think they took a lot from it, and then they should take more from it. But they definitely upgraded the experience like after the fact. Like I think our main problem with Legends Arceus was like it was nearly perfect Pokemon gameplay, but there was nothing to do after that. There was nothing more than that, right?
It's it like with Legends Arceus, I think it's like perfect Pokemon gameplay, but that's kind of the whole game. There isn't anything to do off of the perfect Pokemon gameplay. It's just gameplay is really nice, but that's pretty much all you're doing for like a kind of long video game.
Yeah, and this one it's equally as long, maybe a little bit longer, but there's at least a few things to do. You have three different
Yeah.
ways, three different paths you can go, and I
Mhm.
think all three paths were pretty worth it.
Yeah, I think they were all pretty good. Like whereas Legends Arceus, it's pretty much just like a you have one thing to do. I don't know. It feels like there's a big open world, but everything on the path to where you're supposed to go has stuff to do. But as soon as you go off the path, it gets really barren. Where in this game, it feels like I don't think I know what the proper path through the world is. Because I was just going off and doing other things, and it all kind of felt seamless.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about earlier, pre-podcast, that you didn't like that there were that the how the gyms were set up, where they
Yeah,
weren't completely open, but
I do
they had
think
their
it would be.
predetermined.
I do think if the gyms scaled with you, that would be good because like they have two options. I think either make the gyms really open, but scale with you, or kind of make it more clear which one you should do first, so you know which way to go around. Because like, sure, you can go for the eighth gym, but you're gonna get destroyed. but then you also know what the next gym you should go to is. Because I think my least favorite part of the game was just the steamroll at the end when you've already beat what was supposed to be the last gym, and now you have like the water type left.
Sure, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I kind of went in like a wave shape, not like a circle.
Yeah. I know I wanted to save Larry for last before I knew who he was because he was facing away, so I thought he was going to be the final challenge. Because his portrait, he isn't looking at the camera, but he's actually just like the middle gym leader, which is very weird.
I think the final one is like either I think Ghost or Psychic. It's like one of those two.
I think it's either make it clear or have the gym scale with you. I think I'd still prefer scaling with you, but they kind of took like the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, scaling is a little bit harder, I think, because if you want to, it would. So if the gym scaled, the question is, would the wild Pokemon around that gym also scale?
Yeah, it's unrealistic, but I think I would like also wild Pokemon scaling. They don't have to like evolve or anything. But I do think it'd kind of be funny to beat the 8th gym, go back to the first route, and find like a really buff Scovette or something. That's like level 80, but that also might suck. I don't know.
Yeah, it almost breaks the game as well, because I don't even remember the main town, but Pallet Town. Let's look with that.
Yeah.
From Pallet Town, you could run and not run into any Pokemon and go to the 8th gym. It's like, that doesn't really make sense, but I guess you could.
Well, technically you can do that because the 8th gym in Kanto is the next city.
True. But bad example.
You picked quite possibly the worst example of the Pokemon games, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think in an open world like this, that doesn't work well. But if it was something like Kanto, I'm down.
Yeah.
A little bit more like city-based. Like maybe in the Unova or the Gen 5 remake, we could do it that way. I'm down. When it's open world like this, I don't think it works. I think the scaling that they did, not really scaling, they didn't do any scaling, but the planned scaling that they did this time was perfect.
Fair enough. I know there was a ROM hack called Pokemon Crystal Clear, which was pretty much just an open world ROM hack based in Johto, where they didn't scale the wild Pokemon, but did scale the gym leaders, and it was kind of weird. But I still think, I don't know.
I think you can do that, but you have to not attach it to a game that wasn't designed for it.
They're smarter than me.
Yeah.
You do it. Wave your hand. Just wave your magic fingers. Make it work.
I mean, they are also the people who decide not to put voice acting in this game.
It's true. It's so weird. This game especially feels like they walked up to the animators and said, all right, we're adding voice acting this time. Get those animation chops riled up. We got to make these characters expressive with voices. And then they didn't get time to do the voices.
Yeah. Watch it be DLC.
I just think it's so funny to see like the final cutscene with Nomona. And she's like so animated and moving, and her mouth's moving a lot, but it's just text on the bottom. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's like the opening cutscene for Sword and Shield when they're in the arena, and he's like, "Welcome everybody" or whatever, and nothing's. Yep. Sounds exactly like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they multiply that 100 times.
Impression there. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I do practice it. Anyway. I think, okay, this is a very weird personal thing, but I kind of wish seeing like the Pokemon animated stuff like Twilight Wings or even just the anime, I kind of wish big cutscenes were 2D animated.
Yes, I've been saying this for years. Hire an anime studio.
I think that would be very cool.
It's just you can't have your custom character in there then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, you could, because you can just
Here, if they do it, they can do
Oof.
it for like the remakes. If they do a Gen 5 remake, but actually make it good this time, the character designs are pre-chosen.
Yeah, they could totally do it that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what anime studio they would want to do it with. Like, I mean, they can do it with Wit if they want to, because they already did
whatever studio animates Pokemon.
They do a lot of work.
Okay,
They do more than Pokemon.
Oh,
like in a couple weeks, I'm gonna mention Komi Can't Communicate, and they make that.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Actually,
or like
I'm curious.
Literally, whatever studio they get to animate all their short YouTube animations,
which is Wit Studio.
Just don't get them to do the short YouTube animations and instead do cutscenes for their Pokemon game. Which I think it'd be like a similar amount of work.
I don't know. Let's go. Pokemon X and Y. OLM is the studio. They make everything. They made they made Summertime Rendering, which I dropped. Komi Can't Communicate. Odd Taxi. Yeah, they do like seasonal anime.
Odd Taxi, is that like Crazy Taxi's kind of like polite younger brother?
Odd Taxi is about animals. It's not a furry thing. It's integral to the plot.
That's very much not what I was expecting the answer to be.
But yeah, they do Pokemon and some seasonal stuff. So I mean, they could, but that's a lot on their plate.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how many employees they have. OLM employee.
I guess as you're looking that up, I kind of want to backtrack a little bit to difficulty. And I gotta say, I really like the Elite Four in this game, but we might have a new contender for possibly worst champion.
Oh, complete facts. I rolled that champion.
I really love the champion's design. The battle sucks.
Yeah.
It does not feel like a champion battle.
I had more trouble.
Lance. He cheats. He is really weak and gets taken out by like a good rock type Pokemon, but he feels like a champion battle.
Yeah.
He's got a full cape on and everything.
But I did like the classic run of the Elite Four where you don't heal just by choice. And I had more trouble with that, like getting to the final guy, which I think is Dragon type.
Dragon type, yeah.
Yeah, I had more trouble with him. He was about to wipe out my entire team.
Yeah, actually, I think I agree. I had out of the Elite Four, the Dragon type probably gave me the most trouble, more than the champion. It's also very weird that her last Pokemon is the Pokemon she should send out first, and her like middle Pokemon is like the Pokemon you should send out last. Because the whatever the blue one is, I don't remember what its name is. Glimora, maybe? That sounds right. Glimora has an ability where you hit it and it drops toxic spikes, which is very good for a leading Pokemon. And then in the middle of the fight, she tosses out the King Gambit, who does more damage the more Pokemon there are fainted in your party. So that should be her last Pokemon. They just didn't do that. They kind of switched it around, which is very strange. Not to mention she has a Go-Goat on her team, which is a fine enough Pokemon. No harm to any Go-Goat fans out there. But Go-Goat on a champion team?
Go-Goat's kind of goated.
I think he's... okay. I think I have to leave. Yeah.
To be fair, like I don't think either of us have finished the post-game stuff with the Pokemon tournament thing. May or may not happen.
That.
You did.
I did complete the post-game. I have not caught any of the legendaries, but I did beat the post-game, and it's pretty much just fight all the gym leaders again. And I had a good time because the gym leaders were all like actually strong and cool. And I did sweep them all because before I fully decked out a competitive Pokemon team and like EV trained them because I wanted to sweep the gym leaders and feel good about it. But it was still fun. It just felt like actual Pokemon battles. It was like a champion battle with every gym leader, which I think is cool, and they should do it more often.
That kind of sucks because they were in the final like cutscene in the little principal's office. They were talking about, Nimona is gonna run a Pokemon tournament. I'm like, sick. Am I gonna see there is a Pokemon Mansion?
What is it? At the school, you can. there's one that you have to do for post game, and then there's just a consistent tournament where you fight, I think maybe gym leaders, but it's mostly the teachers at the school are like the people that show up in the tournament, and then I don't know what the final battle is. I don't know how it's organized, but you fight some students, which are just NPCs, some trainers, and then I think the final battle in the story one's against Nomona, but I don't think it's always Nomona.
But
I know
have to
you
update
grind
that
for golden bottle caps, which are items that max out all your Pokemon's IVs, so they're really good for competitive. And that's the like only way to grind for them outside of like 6-star raids, I think.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking of raids, actually.
Oh,
better or worse than Sword and Shield?
Oh, infinitely better.
I agree. When you lose a raid in this game, it feels like, okay, I should do better rather than Sword and Shield, where it's like, dude, why are you setting up another dozen shields? Please stop.
I mean, I still haven't beaten a 6-star one, but you mainly need to focus on your teammate needs to focus on you and himself, and you need I don't know, you need a lot of setup for those. I just don't have the time.
Fair enough.
I got my Charizard, not even by that. I got surprise traded a Charmander. So I couldn't even challenge the Charizard ones.
Actually, I'm sorry for editing, Dakota. I need to pause real quick. All my dogs are swarming me, wanting to be let outside.
Okay. I will add a note.
All right, I'm back.
I can't believe you can't pause on the spot. Whatever.
Oh well. I've got, I don't know. Like, yeah, the raids in the old game, very annoying. These raids, cool. But still, like, 6-star raids are pretty annoying. However, the Charizard reminded me of, have you seen the new, like, the comparisons between, like, the old Charizard and new Charizard model?
Charizard, yes.
Charizard, yeah. I like it a lot. I think we've talked at length about specifically the gym leader part quite a bit. We still have 2 full more stories to go. Technically 3 if you count the end game.
True.
But they're also going to be a lot faster because there's not as much to do. Because it's kind of the same thing. It's just a few more, like at least the evil teams are kind of like just more battles. And if I'm going to be completely honest, the Team Star, like the little grunt battles you do, are kind of really boring.
Yes, the where you just use the auto battle stuff.
Yeah,
that was the most boring thing in the game, probably.
it's not very fun, but the actual fights with the evil team members, I think, are pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed. I thought they were each gonna have their own big Pokemon that you have to fight, and they're all just kind of the car, which I think kind of sucks. But oh well.
Yeah. The first one that I fought was a guy with headphones, like the DJ guy.
Oh, the dark type, I think.
I think so. It was a bottom left area.
Yeah, I don't.
He was pretty difficult, and it caught me off guard. And then they just did that 3-4 more times.
Yeah, like, I think I was always kind of caught off guard by the evil teams, and it always surprised me because I was like sweeping gym leaders, and then I'd actually have to grind a little bit for the evil team members, which I think is kind of cool because not being able to just steamroll the game.
Do you have a favorite evil team member design out of
favorite
5
design?
Of them? Yeah.
I really like the boots on the fire girl.
I think. Did you see how she walks?
Doesn't she walk like her legs go wide or something?
She walks like I guess like a military person, where her legs go straight out in front of her.
Straight out, yeah. I think she's cool.
I'm convinced it's because of the
all
boots.
designs are pretty cool. I like the pixie boy.
Yes.
I think my least favorite's probably the wrestler.
Yeah.
But it's also because her fight was really annoying too.
Yes. I thought that was probably the hardest one. I was like built up. That was the last thing I did, and it was still hard.
Yeah. I think the fighting type was still a little bit easier. I think the poison type is my least favorite, just because Toxic Spikes and the final guy is very frustrating. But,
I guess.
but the fighting type weirdly difficult. I just didn't expect to get steamrolled as hard as I did in that fight.
And the story, pretty good.
Fine.
Pretty
Okay,
good.
to be fair, I'm gonna be completely honest. Mashed day through most of it.
Same here. If it had voice acting, I think I would have more connection to it.
Yeah, I did not really care. I got the gist of it. That's all you need.
Yeah. And the twist at the end, decent. I didn't see it coming.
I kind of saw it from a mile away.
Hmm.
Are you talking about the
who the big boss was, whatever
okay.
their name was.
Yeah, I saw that coming from a mile away. I did not see, I knew the person on the phone was her.
The person on the phone was the boss, mile away. How could you not see that? I knew the
person on the phone. Can we just spoil it? I'm just going to spoil it.
Yeah, we're just going to spoil it.
I knew the person on the phone was Penny from a mile away. I did not know the person on the phone was the boss.
Okay, I knew the opposite.
Dialogue.
I knew the opposite. I knew that the person on the phone was the boss, but I didn't know who the boss was.
Fair enough. I know my brother guessed both, and then made fun of me for not knowing. So
I thought Penny was just gonna be like, "Yep, side character. Good job."
I was like, okay, they can't just make her a side character. She's like, every character in this game kind of has something to do, and her being the only one with literally nothing to do would be very weird.
Yeah. Also great that she fights with only EV evolutions.
That was cute. I know a lot of people saying that her theme is the hardest theme in all of Pokemon. Hard disagree. It's pretty good, but nothing will beat the guy with the construction helmet in Sword and Shield, who for absolutely no reason has the most jazzy track in all of Pokemon. Peony, that's his name, Peony. But yeah, outside of that, it's fine. They're cool fights. I gotta say though, this Pokemon game might have the strongest supporting cast of any Pokemon game.
That's a hot take, I think.
Is it?
People okay. It's the best written by far. There's like no competition.
Yeah, sure. Design wise, they're all kind of boring a little bit. Outside of Nemona and Penny. Actually, Nemona and Penny are fine. I think Arvin looks just like a dude.
Yeah, but I think that's because they needed to make a character that has relations with both versions of the professor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's understandable.
I just feel like these three people with you actually feel like a cohesive friend group that your trainer's a part of.
Yeah.
Unlike the X and Y people that just don't feel like, they just feel like NPCs that spawned next to each other.
Okay, as much as I like X and Y, yes. I feel like when at the beginning of that game, all of them feel like friends, but they don't know anything about each other, and then you just come in and you're like the social outcast of the group. It's like, what happened?
I kind of feel so bad for the X and Y friends, because it feels like at least Trevor and Tierno are pretty good friends, and then you come in and like suddenly everyone loves you, and your character doesn't even like acknowledge their existence.
Just blank stare. Game. Stares right through them.
I feel like your character in X and Y permanently ruined that friend group.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can't believe you remember the names of those characters. I don't remember those names, and those are my favorite Pokemon games.
I don't know why I know their names, but I know the names of Serena, Shauna, Tierno, and Trevor.
Yeah, I know Serena because she was in the anime, so that's easy.
Yeah. I also know that the boy, I think, is Callum. I think. It's either Callum or Caleb. Is if you pick the girl, that's who your rival is. Oh well. I think this game is good. Actually, one thing. Character customization is very frustrating.
Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started.
It is the beginning of the game opens, design your character from the start, awesome. Clothing choices, dude.
The worst.
I know it's a school.
Oh my goodness.
But please let me change out of my clothes.
Don't even get me started on this, but too bad, I'm getting started. This has got to be one of the worst variety of choices for any Pokemon customization. This is horrible.
Where do you change your clothes? I only know how to change helmets. I don't know where to change your suit.
First of all, you can't.
You can't
change anything about the you're right. You can't change the pants, you can't change the shirt. The only thing you can change is what's on your eyes, what's on your head, and what's on your feet. And each of those are different shops in the different areas, and there's not just one shop that sells everything.
That is, they have to have it split up because like DLC will add shirts and pants or something.
Maybe.
It's so weird. It kind of feels like a weird way to get around like any person, like no matter the gender, you can wear any clothes. But the caveat is that there's not going to be dresses because I don't know. You don't want cross-dressing will be harder to sell to foreign countries.
Well, usually, no, that's not true. I was about to say schools usually don't have dresses in dress code, but Japan does at some schools.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking too far into it, but it just feels like a very strange part of the game. Just not have anything in. Ugh.
Yeah. Also, the hats in this game, they are unwearable. They look so ugly. Like some of them are decent.
I agree.
But there's a massive like 2-inch gap between your like temple or your forehead and the start of the hat on every single hat. You can't wear any of them.
It's very annoying. I think the only good hats are like the helmets because they just take off the hair.
True. Yeah.
They don't have to work around hairline.
That's why I just worked with nothing on my head, and I'll just put sunglasses on because I want some type of customization.
It's crazy that this game came out with like an initial selling point of you can change how your trainer looks like pretty easily, and still Sword and Shield is the best character customization of any Pokemon game.
Yeah.
That is an insane thing.
Yeah, I was about to say Sun and Moon had some decent ones, but because of the size of the screen, you barely got to see it.
Sun and Moon was good, but you could never wear anything longer than capris.
Yeah, that's true.
Which makes sense for a Lola, but you know, sometimes I just want my character to wear some pants, you know?
Yeah. What else is there? I mean, we could talk about the finale.
I guess we could talk about... I mean, we can quickly speedrun Arvin, like his whole storyline.
Oh, okay. Thought they were gonna...
It is, I think, the most compelling of the three.
Yeah.
Story-wise. But also there's kind of nothing to do most of the time. It's walk up to animal, beat up animal, get the herb, talks about how sad his life is, continue.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I think they should have killed him.
Killed him?
I think they should have killed the dog.
Oh, the dog. Okay.
I think they should have killed the dog.
Sure.
It should have been a story about how Pokemon cannot, like, the I don't know, age, because the whole thing was, like, the whole theme of the game was past and future, which is about time. So,
I guess that's true.
The power of time cannot heal a Pokemon.
Oh, that's true, because
kill the Pokemon.
The whole point of the mom and dad is them trying to use godlike powers to take hold of the past, to make time relevant, is the bad thing. You know what? You kind of are right, but also the dog is so cute.
No, not to me.
Counterpoint: the dog makes me go "aw" every time he shows up.
They should have killed the dog but the dog.
But the dog is very cute. Anyway, that out of the way. Let's talk about the most insane story in all of Pokemon. And I think before we get to it, we need a little bit of context on other Pokemon stories. So you got the first one, right? Classic story, beat all the gyms, beat up the evil team, you're good. Most games start to follow this. Evil teams get more drastic. Maybe they want to reset the universe, like in Gen 4.
More drastic.
That's
wow,
fine.
That escalated quickly.
But like it still kind of follows the same example of Evil team is evil, stop them. Even like it starts to get a little mixed up with Sun and Moon, where evil team is evil, but they're actually bumbling idiots underneath who you thought were the good guys, who's not good, and the mom is abusive and merges herself with a Pokemon. That's pretty wild. But compared to this story, which, if I'm right, the professor wants to extract Pokemon from the past or future to see how they would interact with modern day Pokemon, and in the process die, but they have a clone that is supposed to take care of their son or something and make sure that the portal where the old Pokemon come out of doesn't close, and therefore is an evil robot who tries to stop you with a sick battle theme. And they're all glitchy and stiff. That's insane. There's no evil team.
I think that was right. There was no evil team. Yeah.
There is technically an evil team. But the evil team is not even remote. That's a completely side objective. It's like, cool, we beat the evil team. What's next? The cyborg professor is trying to destroy the world. Huh? Sorry, what?
I thought it was like just super, super cool that they just went out of left field. I
think that's awesome.
When I finished it, I'm like wow, crazy. This is infinitely better than Sword and Shield.
What are you talking about? I loved when I was battling the Elite Four, then interrupted for the guy to do for like. I loved to be in the middle of Elite Four and be interrupted by what ended up being 2 Pokemon battles into an annoying fetch quest and then a legendary battle. That was so fun. That was so fun and awesome and cool. It's actually crazy that Team Star had more things to do than Team Yell.
Yeah. What was even the story of a Team Yell? I don't even remember.
There wasn't one. They just cheered for Marnie.
Oh my goodness, that game was horrible.
That game sucked. Wow.
Like, okay, so to be fair, I had fun with Sword and Shield, but yes, it sucks. You can't not have fun with Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon's fun, but jeez. Half of Sword and Shield felt like they had the cool thing happening right behind the player character, and you weren't allowed to go towards it. Anyway, back to this game. Story crazy.
Yeah. Did you read any of like the lore or the books, or maybe did you understand any of it?
No,
because I did not either. People are like breaking it down. There's like the books in each of those labs that you go to. I think there's 4 of them.
Okay.
And there's like 2 books in each lab that describe what terrestrializing is and how this thing is there and why it happens and whatnot. People are connecting it to Kalos and the giant like laser beam, and like the main big dude at the end of X and Y is named AZ, which is Area 0 in this game. Okay. The shapes
Wait, is Area 0 the big crater where the ultimate weapon shot down?
That's what people are theorizing.
That would make sense.
Cool.
That's kind of hype.
Yeah.
I love that X and Y started this ever overarching massive Pokemon story in what is like one of the most bare bones Pokemon games.
Yeah. It also introduced multiple timelines.
Yeah.
Another thing is that the shape of the terrestrialized like logo, or like the shapes of terrestrialized things. What is that? A hexagon? Octagon?
One of them.
That's got to be a hexagon.
Who knows? Maybe it was a pentagon.
It's 6 sides.
Okay.
Whatever. It's the same shape as what Zygarde is known for.
Okay, that feels like a little bit of a stretch.
I think it is also a bit of a stretch, but if you look at one of the books, they have a photo of like a giant circle Pokemon, and they describe it as a Pokemon, and it's like I don't know what they call it, but I think it's like the father of terrestrializing, and it's covered in the shape, hexagons, octagons, whatever.
Okay.
So
maybe
with a crown on its head. So like maybe
that's a maybe. I know that there was something I was going to say and I've completely. Oh yeah, Okay, actually, it's a complete stray away from this topic. Do you have anything else you want to say about the insane story?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. So you played Scarlet. I played Scarlet. You played Violet. What do you think? I I am, maybe I'm biased, but I'm in the category where it seems like Scarlet destroys Violet in maybe every possible way. I think the professor is better. I think Cavill's looks better in orange. I think all the Pokemon designs are like a little more inspired. The school I don't really care about, but maybe it's better in Scarlet because everything else is. Am I insane? Am I just super biased?
You might be biased because generally, you might be biased because you played that game. Because generally, I think Violet is the more popular game.
It is
Like
definitely the more
sold
popular
more.
game, but I don't know. Oh, and also I think the legendary is cooler. I like his.
Okay,
I
you're
think
definitely biased in that face.
I feel like Scarlet. This also feels like maybe an insane thing. I think Koraidon is more expressive in the cutscenes that they're in than Miraidon is.
I mean, it
There's
is a robot versus a real thing, so they probably just
yeah,
animated it differently
they
instead
are
of just
animated differently, but
model
like
swap.
at the beginning, like when Koraidon's kind of on the ground, it is I don't I'm biased. I think it's cuter. Or like in the game when the first time it turns into a big mode and hits the ground shakes and like dust shows up. But in Violet, the same animation plays even though a floating animal doesn't hit the ground. It just floats there. And it makes the same shaking and like hitting the ground. It feels like they designed Scarlet first and then threw the Violet one in afterwards. Like the legendary into the same cutscenes.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Just,
Have we seen the rest of the game?
fair enough. It feels like there was more love put into Scarlet, but I think I'm biased. Although I still think the Pokemon look cooler because they're not just robots.
Yeah, I assume they make one game, flip models, flip Pokemon, and be
Yeah,
done with it.
and make the
Like,
other.
and just duplicate the file. It's like it's
Fair
not that
enough.
hard.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Um, yeah.
Well,
Is
I do like that the what do you call it? The professor, he is poorly animated, and
oh
that's
yeah.
actually just a part of the story.
I do. I remember pointing that out when I was playing the game. I'm like, Professor Sada is just standing still and has like no animation.
Only mouth movement.
What's wrong? Like, what? Did they just not animate her? And then it makes a little more sense at the ending.
I like to think that the Game Freak company is like, oh, we lost the file. We gotta make it. We lost the animation file for the professors. We gotta make it normal now. So they made a whole different plot.
Yeah,
To
this is
explain
a
it.
very small thing. I really like in the final battle with Professor Sada or Professor Toro that the Pokeballs drop when they send the Pokemon out.
Yes.
I
They were
think
like
that's so
holding
cool.
it and then it just drops
They just
and
drop the
comes out.
Pokeball.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It was
And
actually
also their
menacing.
theme bangs. It's fine actually. It doesn't bang as I still think Peony holds the title. I think this game probably leaned a little too much into the very heavy kind of music in straight away from more instrumentation, and it's a little sad to see. But
Yeah, but then
people
you
seem to
get
like it.
music like the Area Zero music, where it's just
Oh,
incredible.
yeah, that was good. Also, the battle themes in this game are very good.
Yes.
I love how it adapts to the overworld music. So when you start a Pokemon battle, it's just the overworld music, but now there's like a backbeat to it. And it's
Really? I
so
didn't even notice
seamless.
that.
It's so seamless. There's no beginning to the song. It just transitions the overworld music into the battle music.
Hmm.
And it's very good.
I even used the Team Star Grunt battle theme for the Clicky Awards nomination video this year. It was so good.
Oh, I don't think I've actually listened to that one properly.
It's really good because, well, first of all, whoa, wait a second, my mic. first of all, you only hear like the first 30 seconds and then you're done with the battle. So if you listen to the entire thing, it's really good.
Fair enough. That's true with most Pokemon games. I don't think I ever noticed a Pokemon, like, I don't beat a trainer and go, dang, their music was really good. I more go, I beat the trainer and then later listen to the music when listening through all the music and go, oh, wait, this trainer's music is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think the only exception for that is like Lance's theme and Heart Gold Soul Silver, because when you start off, like just the blare, like dun 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 dun, just like it starts off really strong, and therefore I listen to the whole song. But also, I don't know why I'm going crazy on like the pro Lance propaganda in this episode.
So, as a general consensus, this game is good. I wish it didn't have bugs. You should buy it.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I really like the game, but I don't confidently know if it's worth full price.
I think any Pokemon game is worth full price, no matter what. Like even Sword and Shield is worth full price.
Oof. Okay, sure. I guess I can see where you're coming from. Actually, I think Sword and Shield's not quite worth full price because I think the game's lackluster, and then you have to pay for DLC.
If you can get the DLC for free somehow, it's worth it.
Then it's worth it. But I'd say buy if you like Pokemon, buy this game. If you like Pokemon, you probably already bought the game. But like if you're if you've played a couple Pokemon games in the past and not sure if you want to pick this one up, you should.
Yeah.
But also, if you're not a fan of Pokemon games, this will not even remotely change your opinion on it. In fact, it might make you hate Pokemon more because it's glitchy.
Yeah. If you want a jumping off point for like a Pokemon game, this is not really a great start, honestly.
Yeah.
You should probably start with Let's Go if you want one on the Switch. That'll give you all the basics about the game, and then you can jump in. Then you'll understand it.
I think if out of all the Pokemon games, the game to jump in on is probably Black and White. That or Sun and Moon. But I think Black and White, Sun and Moon, or Let's Go are the best jumping on points for Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, Black and White's can be kind of hard to find because it's like
it's true.
$100.
I say, hey, yeah, just go grab Black and White, and then you look at the eBay listing of like $500, and your eyes bulge out of their sockets.
Yeah, so Sun and Moon is pretty good, although you won't have any like traditional gym battles. So, as the last topic, what's the future for this game? DLC, sequel, tie-in?
Okay, I am really hoping for DLC. I hope the DLC expands on the story. And maybe, this is a big maybe, imagine if the DLC is the past or the future. Like, you go there.
Yeah, like almost what they did with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where they expanded the wormhole stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that, but not in DLC. I'm not sure if they would do that in DLC. True. I think it's Ultra Violet, Ultra Moon, or Ultra Violet, Ultra Moon, or Ultra. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think
a sequel.
DLC is more likely because I'm pretty sure the DLC for Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield went kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but so I'm not. I think they're gonna continue with DLC. However, I do think going to the past or future sounds really cool, but also I think that makes it a lot more difficult because that's practically two different games depending on what game you have. So
you it's have to do that.
I guess you can go to the past and future. That could be the two DLCs.
Yeah,
if they do two like last time. I think that's a cool thing to do, but also I kind of don't see them doing it.
Yeah, because a time machine can go both ways. So if they make DLC that's just like time machine DLC, you can go either way. You can go future or past, and they can probably do that. And it's not like, I think if they would do it that way, they wouldn't have any more exploration to do in the main world. They wouldn't add any more.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
The biggest worry of past or future means they're probably to make a bunch of new Pokemon, where at the last DLC they made like 3 new Pokemon.
Yeah, they made Slowpoke, the big bear thing.
Oh yeah, Slowpoke, and then Cubfu into Urshifu, and then all the birds and Calyrex.
Oh,
so that is actually
yeah.
that's more than 3.
So it's a solid handful, like 15.
I don't think 15.
Maybe 10?
Oh wait, actually, yeah, there's the horses too.
There's the horse, there's the different Reggies.
Oh yeah. The Isle of Armor sucks. Wait a minute. Isle of Armor added technically 5 Pokemon, but only 2 evolution lines.
And officially introduced, what do you call it? Bulbasaur and Squirtle.
Oh yeah.
Into the Pokedex.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then this game just went crazy and did everything else. Isle of what Crown Tundra just went crazy and had like a billion new things. And a really fun dungeon crawler that was really fun, but also if you do it more than like 3 times in succession, it gets really boring.
Yeah, I don't like the trend of like final updates to the game just being, here's all the legendaries. Good luck.
It's true. The de-emphasis on how important legendaries are is kind of depressing.
Yeah. I think the only thing I can others see than like past and future DLC is adding the real life equivalent to Andorra, which is the little country in between Spain and France. It's very
really
puny.
Want that Kalos crossover.
I really want the Kalos crossover.
You really
have no idea. I would kill for that.
Kalos is X and Y are one of my least favorite Pokemon games, but I really do like Kalos as a setting.
Yeah, I like the rich nature of the plot in that game. There's so much to explore. Who is AZ? How is there actually the current theory is that the different floret, what was it called?
Floette, AZ's Floette.
Yeah, AZ's Floette is just a past version from the time machine. And that's why there's so many Floettes in Area 0.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of Floettes. I do think having having one the Calyrex for this game being the like ultimate Floette would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm also hoping a really, really hard Pokemon battle.
It's true. I think it's crazy that I still think the hardest Pokemon battle in all of Pokemon is the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon Necrozma fight.
I would not know because I didn't buy those games.
It's actually, it might be too hard because it feels like the only way to beat it is to cheese it. Because
well, that's not good.
Realistically, he one-hits every Pokemon because you'll be like at the level that you will be at. So like the strat, like when I first played the game, I sent out my Golisopod and used First Impression, and then just kept reviving him and using First Impression until it fainted the Pokemon. But I think the like biggest strat is having a Zoroark on your team and having him illusion into a Pokemon that's weak to Psychic, because then it'll keep using Psychic type moves, which has no effect on Zoroark, and then you can just kill it. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone beat Ultra Necrozma by actually just playing the game. So it's probably too hard, but I have a lot of fun with it. And also I think Rainbow Rocket is like the coolest thing that Pokemon's done in a long time. But that's a completely different game.
I think we covered everything.
I think we've covered everything. In fact, maybe a little bit too much, because like the review might be a lot of retreading the same stuff.
Yeah, we will cover a lot of this in the review. A lot probably more nailed down. You could probably see that sometime next year, probably in the first 2 months at least. Thank you for joining us in discussing Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. We'd love it if you could follow us on Twitter and listen to future episodes on Spotify and iTunes. Join our community Discord server to continue today's discussion. and we'll see you next time on the Switch Clicks podcast.